Imagine waking up one day and suddenly thinking, you know what would be great? Climbing to the top of a tree, locking my jaw onto a leaf, and waiting there until something eats me. That would be concerning, unless you're an ant, and your brain has been hijacked. Welcome to the animal kingdom's most disturbing genre, mind control. No sci-fi lasers, no hypnotist watches, just tiny organisms quietly rewriting behavior like a software update you never agreed to. There's a fungus called Ophiocordyceps. It infects ants, but it doesn't just infect them, it controls them. The spore lands on the ant's body. It enters, it spreads. But instead of immediately killing the ant, it waits. And then it gives instructions. The ant abandons its colony. It climbs vegetation. It finds the perfect height. It bites down, and then its jaw locks forever. The fungus grows inside the body, then bursts out of the ant's head like a horror movie prop department got funding. From there, it releases spores onto the forest floor where more ants walk. It's not random. The fungus makes the ant climb to the perfect humidity level for fungal growth. That means it understands the environment better than the ant does. The ant thinks it's choosing. It's not. And here's the uncomfortable part. The fungus doesn't need a brain. It just needs chemistry. Control the nervous system. Alter muscle contractions. Hijack instincts. That's it. Mind control. Now let's talk about rats. Specifically, rats infected with Toxoplasma gondii. Normally, rats are terrified of cats. That's survival 101. But when infected, they lose their fear. Actually, they become attracted to the smell of cat urine. Yes, the parasite literally rewires the rat's brain so that predator scent becomes appealing. Why? Because the parasite can only reproduce inside cats, so it needs the rat to get eaten. So it edits the rat's fear response, not by force, by altering dopamine pathways. The rat still thinks it's being rational. It just feels different. Imagine if your fear of heights was quietly replaced with curiosity and you didn't know why. That's the level we're dealing with. And here's the twist. About 1/3 of humans have Toxoplasma too. Now don't panic. In humans, the effect is subtle. Maybe increased risk-taking. Maybe slight personality shifts. But still, a parasite that can alter fear circuits already lives inside millions of brains. Relax.
Probably fine.
Next, hairworms. These things look like animated spaghetti. They infect crickets, but hairworms need water to reproduce. And crickets, they hate water. So what does the worm do? It waits until it's fully grown inside the cricket. Then it releases chemicals. The cricket suddenly feels an overwhelming urge to jump into water, which is basically suicide. The cricket dives in, the worm exits dramatically from the body, like a magician pulling scarves from a sleeve, and swims away to find a mate. The most fascinating part, researchers found the worm produces proteins similar to those in the cricket's brain. It mimics neurological signals. It doesn't overpower the brain, it impersonates it. That's next-level manipulation. There's a wasp called Dinocampus coccinelle. It lays eggs inside ladybugs. The larva grows inside. Eventually, it bursts out and forms a cocoon under the ladybug. And here's where it gets creepy. The ladybug doesn't die. It stays there, guarding the cocoon, twitching, protecting the parasite from predators, like a security guard who didn't apply for the job. Researchers believe a virus injected by the wasp interferes with the ladybug's nervous system. It becomes a zombie bodyguard. There's a parasite called Leucochloridium. It infects snails. The parasite invades the snail's eye stalks. They swell, they pulsate, they change color. They look like juicy caterpillars. Birds love caterpillars. The snail, which normally hides in the dark, suddenly moves into open sunlight, highly visible because the parasite has altered its behavior. The bird eats the eye stalk. Parasite continues life cycle inside the bird. The snail survives, minus eyes, which is not ideal, but biologically efficient. So what's really happening? Here's the pattern. Parasites don't need intelligence. They need access to neurotransmitters, hormones, fear circuits, instinct triggers. Behavior is chemistry. Change the chemistry, change the behavior. And suddenly, free will looks a little fragile. The uncomfortable question: if a fungus can control an ant, if a parasite can rewrite fear, if a worm can override survival instinct, then what exactly is control? Your brain runs on chemicals: dopamine, serotonin, cortisol. Tiny changes in ratios alter your mood, your decisions, your confidence, your risk tolerance. Now imagine something microscopic tweaking those dials. You wouldn't feel controlled, you'd just feel like yourself. That's the genius of parasites. They don't fight the brain, they whisper to it. The scariest part of parasite mind control isn't the horror, it's the elegance. No violence, no drama, just chemical persuasion. Nature doesn't need brute force, it uses optimization, and in that system, the brain is just another environment to colonize. You think you're in control. Most of the time you probably are. Probably, until something smaller than a grain of sand decides otherwise.